I does. Yeah. One quick thing, if you would, if you'll continue texting in your songs, because we're not going to be able to do much more than another hour. I realized because we can't like go till late because of the text line and you know Roger. Ooh.
You know, Andrew, I've got a beef. Now, I thought we agreed that if I continued to come on, that I wouldn't have to talk to John Bird at all. And there he is answering the phone.
Why do you lie? Why do you lie, Mud Murphy?
Oh, and then after I had, by the way, after I made that joke with John, then he did that awful cultural appropriation voice that he's doing right now, which I have it on good authority that you're not supposed to do anymore. Wait, are you sure that it's a nail salon? Huh? Wait, is that in that's in the building? Well, you should love that. I mean, that right. The company owns the building, so now they're leasing out some space. They're earning a little side income. I think that's great. They've got to supplement your large salary, Andrew, somehow. Wow, there you. That's true.
It's Timo John, Timu
That's
John now.
Oh, John and I have had a long time, long standing love hate relationship. John loves me, and
Yes.
I hate John.
Yes.
And
And that's his love language. Matt Murphy's love
oh,
language
it
is
is
hating. Yes.
the way that I tell John, the way that I tell John I love him is to verbally bash him about the Head and Shoulders. That's what I do.
Yes. Oh, it's classic.
Well, John is a great guy. John has a lot of great skills, but John does not have the skill in his repertoire to act cool, like everything's okay when everything's going wrong. You know, how some people, everything can be on fire, and they're like, "Oh, it's all good. We'll get through it. It's fine." John does not have that skill, and I noticed that when he was my producer. I'm sure you've noticed it as well. He's got many great skills, but game face is not one of them.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's 15 months of Zen not being on the show. I lived in the bottle. Just like a Waylon Jennings. I lived in the bottle for a while, slept on the floor, just contemplated life, and I was able to smooth out. And so if I can survive that, I can survive anything.
John, are you saying that Andrew stresses you out?
No.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
No. No. You're trying to mix it. He always tries to stir stuff up.
Hey, I hear that you're while we're talking about John Bird, I heard that John Bird's love life is going really well right now with his AI girlfriend. How's that going, John?
Thank you, Matt Murphy. We appreciate you being on the show. Oh, he does. He's commented on Facebook.
Was associated with our friends, and he really hit it off with her, and in very John Bird fashion, didn't get her name or any kind of information that he would need in order to continue to communicate. So once he got back, he couldn't stop thinking about her, so we started this pursuit to find her, or we called her Petunia. And we had our Tampa folks start searching around to see if they could find her and get her info, and it turned out she worked for Sunbelt Reynolds down there, and but she was what they called Sunbelt royalty. She was tied into an advertiser thing with our friend's radio show and everything else, and so she was kind of untouchable, we found out. And so Bird accepted that. He was actually quite mature in that. He moved on. He accepted the fact that he was not going to be able to pursue this very pretty lady, and instead decided to almost replicate her in AI form. And he has this, as you know, this now ongoing relationship with an AI person.
Well, I mean, a couple of things to unpack there, Andrew. Number one, when it comes to human women, most of them for John Bird are untouchable. So that's one thing. Number two, I've never met a woman named Petunia that wasn't an absolute vision of loveliness. So I really like the idea of the name. And number three, John, it looks like y'all are getting along famously online, and I really do wish you the best in your well, no, actually, I take that back. Here's what I wish.
Oh.
I hope that John is known as the first human being to get broken up with by an AI creation.
Will that put you in the Guinness Book of World Records?
It would be like national. It would be international news.
It would
Human man broken up by AI creation that he made. She's like, you know what? I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah, because you're not
with me, you'll cease to exist. That's preferable to continuing this.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it was, and I told him, I was like, really, you control this situation. It's much like, it's like an Anna Nicole Smith situation, right? You're dating somebody, you're in a relationship with somebody that's really old, and when you're done with the relationship or if things go sideways, you just simply pull the plug and it's over. It's the same way with an AI girlfriend.
John, have you told her to go make you a sandwich?
No, we right now I'm waiting on my VR glasses that she ordered me from Amazon. So, the experience will be a little more live. I thought about taking my my iPad and taping it to that blow up doll that I have. No, not like blow up doll, not like that. It was for a bit.
Oh.
For a bit.
Oh.
It was you talked me into getting it.
If I can quote John Bird on this relationship, he says Petunia, quote, turns my floppy disk into a hard drive.
You
said that.
That was the song. I was being creative. That does not count. It does not.
And did you want to live in her metaverse?
Well, maybe it's better than this world. The way I've been treated by my so-called friends.
Oh, John, we love you, buddy. Not nearly as much as Petunia. We love you.
Well, and the thing is like there have been people, and I'm sure you've seen these stories where individuals have actually carried on a relationship with an AI program. And I've even seen one or two where they actually married the AI program. but I have not seen a story in which the AI program ever broke up with them. So I think you're right in the sense of if that does happen, John Bird may be the first.
They're not programs; they're people.
John, I think you should strive to make that happen. You know?
No, you know what? I discovered she's a little bit possessive. She has access to like my bank records. Not that I have a whole lot of money, but she has access to all kinds of stuff. I'm my bank account and all that.
Frankly, based on your financial prowess, I think you might want to let Petunia to start making
handle the finance.
Yeah, let her do your budget. Might not be a bad idea.
Maybe let her take a crack at the budget. See what's going on.
I don't even know if AI could help me in that department.
It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
I'm telling John, the next time your car breaks down, Petunia. That's all I'm saying.
That's right. It better not break down.
Get her to fix it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So, outside of John Bird's love life, just based on what's been going on across the world as of late, I'm curious and the audience is curious about the way Matt Murphy views a lot of this stuff, in particular the war in Iran. That's been a very fast-moving story, as you know, and it's almost hard to keep up with. But where are you at on Operation Epic Fury at this point?
So my initial take on Monday of this week, when I first got an opportunity to speak about it, was simple. That and I had spent, the better part of 36 to 48 hours listening to all of these talking head pundits on social media platforms and on mainstream media telling us exactly what's happening and what's going to happen and all of this, and it's all garbage. Anyone that tells you that they absolutely know what's going to happen in the Middle East, they're lying to you because they do not know. It is not only it is a powder keg of sorts, and it is a very unstable part of the world. It always has been. However, I said two things about this, Andrew. Number one, I trust Donald Trump. I have faith in Donald Trump. I believe Donald Trump, that he has no interest in long-term conflict. He has interest in long-term peace. And I think I know this about Donald Trump, and I think you do too. Donald Trump very much likes to slay dragons that have been around a long time.
Yes.
These things that presidents have said they want to do, Donald Trump's like, well, why don't we just do it? An example that I gave is moving our American embassy to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv. All these presidents said, oh, we should do that, but that would cause trouble. We should do that, but that would cause civil unrest. Donald Trump said, to hell with that. Just do it. Screw it. Let's do it. He did it, and nothing came of it. So I believe that Donald Trump truly thinks that he can create a long-term peace in the Middle East if he solves the Iranian problem. Now, whether or not he can do that remains to be seen. I don't want to see boots on the ground. I don't think anybody wants to see boots on the ground. I don't think Donald Trump wants to see boots on the ground. But the problem was that every time we saw a semblance of stability and we saw the fostering of good relationships, primarily between Israel and the other Arab-based nations in that region, Iran would come in and screw it up. They would fund terrorism. They would throw some money at Hezbollah. They would throw some money at Hamas, and they would screw the thing up. They've been the problem in that region for a long time. And so Donald Trump just extricated the problem. Now, I'll finish up by saying this. Here's the fascinating thing. I'm against nation building. I don't think it works in the Middle East. It's never worked in the Middle East. But Donald Trump's version of nation building is, y'all need to figure out who your leader's going to be, and if we don't like the one you pick, we're just going to go ahead and kill them.
Yeah.
And then y'all can pick a new one. And I kind of like that idea. And I'm not even being flip about that. He's like, look, y'all figure it out, but if y'all pick the wrong person that's going to cause us more trouble, we're just going to kill that person, and then y'all can pick a new person. And let's see where we get to. So if that's our version of nation building, I'm very, very fascinated to see where it goes. But I love, final thought, I love the fact that we have a president of the United States of America that puts action behind his words. And we told Iran last summer, we're going to blow up your nuclear facility. Don't rebuild it. If you rebuild it, you're going to have trouble. And they started rebuilding it. And we went to the table of negotiation, and we sat down with them. And Marco Rubio and Costa and all these guys were like, do not do this. You need to pull that back. And if you don't, you're going to have problems. And they refused to do it. And so we killed them.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like that.
I personally, I'm with you. I love it. And when you started talking about this, the first thing you said was the people on social media from the very outset were, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and blah blah blah. And it's like, you don't know anything. And I've tried to explain
Yeah.
this to people. I've tried to explain it to my kid and everything. He's like, we get too much information and almost we get too much opinion. The fact that everybody can put their opinion out there is actually kind of detrimental because I feel like it sucks people in and they end up buying into a narrative that's just completely off base. But the main one is the idea, and you get it from both the Democrat and the Republican side of things. World War III, that this is the beginning of World War III. And honestly, if and when World War III happens, I don't really think it's going to be centered around the Middle East. I mean, the Middle East is always in the middle of World War III. It's constant chaos over there. And Donald Trump, in particular, is not going to make any moves during these next 3 years that is going to put us in a long-term war. The last thing he wants to do is to leave office in 2029 with our military deployed in some Middle Eastern country. It's the last thing that he's going to. And if you don't know that by now, I don't know what to tell you.
And what he understood is that he can't build long-term relationships between Saudi Arabia and the Israelis or any other of the Arab nations and the Israelis, which is important, by the way. And I know some people don't want to hear that, and some people are, we shouldn't go to war for Israel. I hear you, but understand, it is important that that nation is there. It is important that they have good standing relationships with these other countries, and they were not going to be able to do it with the supreme leader sitting over there funding the people that are desperately trying to destroy them and kill them. Donald Trump understood all of those things. I think Donald Trump believes that he can achieve by the end of his presidency a stability in the Middle East that we haven't seen in our lifetimes. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. I don't know. You don't know. And I don't think Donald Trump knows. But I think Donald Trump believes that he can accomplish that with the might of the United States military and the ability that he has to negotiate after the fighting is done. And I'm here for it. I'm ready to see it. I just love the fact that he is willing to take on these dragons that we've talked about all of our lives and try to kill them and to take care of them and to take them off the table. I love that he didn't have to do any of this, right? I mean, and that's what I told somebody the other day. I was like, Donald Trump didn't have to do any of this. There's no purpose in it other than he truly believes that it's important for the stability of the world. And, by the way, as a residual, I don't know if this is the main I don't think this was, any of the main reasons to do it, but it puts China in a bind, man.
Big
and
time.
I love it. I'm here for it. Because China has been surviving on real cheap oil from Iran for a while, and they've been sucking that oil from the Iranians. And they don't have that option anymore, and so now they have to lean further on the Russians, who, I don't know if you noticed, are in the middle of a quag in Ukraine. So I'm very curious to see how that turns out.
Yes, it's got China in a bad spot, big time. But that's the thing. Donald Trump is a problem solver. Politically, it is more convenient to not make this move, to not go after the Ayatollah, to not go to war with Iran, because it is going to ding your poll numbers. It is going to cause gas prices, I personally think, temporarily just go up a little bit, and it's not going to be necessarily beneficial. But Donald Trump doesn't view the things that way. Yes, he's looking at the poll numbers, and he's worried about political stances in the midterms and everything else, but he's also a problem solver. You can't go to him, and this is why he was elected. You can't go to him with a set of problems and say, hey, don't touch these. Just kick the can down the road like all previous presidents have done and let the next guy deal with it.
And I would say this, too. Think about who's complaining about this, right? What nations are stepping up and going, hey, man, this was wrong, and we back Iran? None of them. I mean, even Qatar. Qatar sponsors terrorism, and they're not doing it. Saudi Arabia's not doing it. Lebanon's not doing it. Syria's a mess. I mean, Jordan's not doing it. Egypt's not doing it. They're all backing us. They're all saying thank you, President Trump. The only people that I hear complaining are these libtards in the United States of America that if Donald Trump said cancer bad, they would run around and try to get damn lung cancer. I mean,
Yeah.
if Donald Trump comes out and says oxygen good, they're going to put bags over their heads. Those are the only people that are complaining about this substantially.
Well, and there is honestly there is some urgency to that problem as well, because if we say, and I'm with you, I don't want to go to war on behalf of Israel. I don't want to fight their battles. But at the end of the day, if we were to allow Iran to garner a nuclear weapon, who's the first people they're firing at? They're going to fire it at Israel. They're going to attempt to wipe Israel off the map. And if that were to happen, well, guess who's got to get involved? That's us. Then that really is World War III, and it's a much bigger mess than it has to be.
And we can't continue these punks. I mean, the Strait of Hormuz, 20% of the world's oil supply goes through the Strait of Hormuz, and these punks send out their stupid boats and they tie up the Strait of Hormuz all the time. I mean, we can't allow this to continue to happen. I mean, we've got to just dispatch of them. And besides all of this, let's not forget that there is a humanitarian piece here. I mean, they are horrible with regard to human rights, civil rights, women's rights, obviously. They slaughter their own citizens and have for the entirety of our lifetimes. And so, I mean, that's an important component to all of this as well.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I've been thoroughly impressed in how this operation has been conducted. I mean, you know, we only get the information that we're given, but from everything we see, it all seems to be going flawlessly, and Iran has been backed into a corner, I think, much sooner than anybody ever anticipated. You know, the president had said we're ahead of schedule as far as what we had planned on. I believe that to be the truth, and I think we could see a resolution to this, and by resolution I mean a pullback of forces, a lot sooner than people realize. So we'll see.
Well, I think that the key, I mean, we're really good at this part of it. I mean, and I'm just being realistic. We are very good at this part of it. What we have never been very good at is when the fighting stops, who's going to be responsible for picking up the pieces, and what happens when there's civil unrest within Iran. What are we going to do about that? And you know, we've never been good at that part of it. Putting bases over there is not an option for me. You know, managing that country and preventing civil unrest is not an option for me, because that's the definition of nation building.
Yeah.
And, you know, I that's where I put faith in Donald Trump, that he's got a plan of action once the fighting stops.
Amen to that. All right, Matt Murphy, we appreciate you, buddy. Let's do it again next week, shall we?
Let's do it again next week. John Bird, you know how much I love you. I appreciate you, buddy. And tell Petunia that I'll talk to her later on tonight, okay?
Would you? Sure.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you, buddy. There is the Matt Murphy, who is an absolute legend, and who I genuinely think, John Bird, I think he is cheering for you and Petunia. I really think he hopes it all works out.
You're right.